Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to our episode of season 4, episode 14. We are getting to the other side of the men's section, and we did a women's section yesterday, so we're gonna do the men's side. We have Red Pill, Markel. We have we have Alpha Monk, Mondre, if you want to say his name, and we got Swoosh on here. It is first day of draft day for NFL. It's a big deal for me. So it's fine. It's cool. I'm still here. I'm in my Raider gear right now. I'm ready to go. Make that router do push-ups. So we're on live stream, and I get people already commented talking about my router. Man, leave me alone, man. Leave that router alone. What's going on, Josh? So this is what we're gonna do, guys. I'm gonna ask the same question I asked the ladies. A series of things. It's gonna be this title is gonna be what grinds my gears when communicating with women.
Oh man.
Okay.
So
Everything.
Everything.
Yes.
Said everything. Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, we have our moments. We love our women every now and then, but it's hold on, let me move this around. Adjust it. Yeah, it's a healthy kind of thing. So the women already went on the first episode. Of course, ladies go first, right? So they do that. They went their first episode, and they lashed out a little bit.
It's all about equality, right? Guys can go first too, right?
Yeah, but you guys weren't here.
Okay. I really don't care. Yeah.
But okay. So all right. So I'll start off with the questions, or I can actually do it differently. I could probably do the same thing. All right. So first question I'll ask, and I'll start with my man Red Pill here, and then we'll just go on to the next one. We'll keep it brief. We'll make sure we don't go too crazy over our time because my Wi-Fi sucks and all that stuff. So I don't know. Bear with me. We're doing the best we can. But I will start and ask a question. What are the different communication styles between buzzword, feminine. We can't say feminine. Yeah, you can't say that. Yeah, you can't say feminine. So you guys are tuning in for that one. The word is buzzword. And the question I'll ask is, what are the different communication styles between the genders? How do men communicate more, parentheses, more rationally, whereas women are more relational, emotional. So what's the different communication styles that you guys?
Wait, what if we had one more? What about girls?
What do you mean?
Girls and feminine, right? Or females, girls, and feminine.
You can say that too. I mean, I'll just say I give it, lady. You want to make it challenging? You want?
I want to make it a challenge. Come on, it's all dudes.
That is like the worst idea I've ever heard.
Because the women only have one. I gave them one.
Possible. Let's talk about this. Just one word.
Said, Aunt Shirley just said, you just said it. The word, the buzzword.
Who?
Me? You did.
You?
Yeah, you did.
Oh.
Yeah, you did.
That was a trial run.
That was a trial run. All right, trial run. We'll let it slide.
So all four of us only got one, and Rogelio just used it. So no more passes.
All right. We'll let it slide this time. Just don't say it again. All right. So all that you get the question right, Red Pill?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
The biggest difference, right? And this kind of goes back to the whole like women are from Mars, men are from Venus kind of thing, right? So typically when there's a conflict that involves communication, it has to do with some level of stress. And I think men and women typically have fundamentally different ways of handling it. Men will withdraw, women will move forward, not so much attacking the problem, but to that emotional release where men will kind of sit back and they want to really handle it themselves. That has always been the biggest conflict, even in just casual social relationships that I've noticed with women. If something happens and it creates kind of like this raised tension, this slight stress, this slight bad taste in your mouth, I'm kind of just like, all right, well, I'm not happy with this situation right now. I'm just not going to say anything. I'm just going to just ignore it. I'm just going to just press through what's the most important thing. If I can't do either of those, I'm just going to be quiet, right? 'Cause I was irritated. Whereas women will typically be like, what does that mean? They'll definitely be like the instigator, and they're trying to get kind of a reaction to get that emotional release because they're uncomfortable. And men who are, as they're pushing, men will just pull back even more. It's this weird, like, push and pull situation.
Okay. Well, push and pull. So okay. So you mean in your case is that? How do you explain that? Give us an example. Another
Great
example.
Right? Let's say, and this is something I think anybody watching this can relate. Husband comes home from work. Wife may have worked that day, didn't work that day, whatever it is. Wife makes the dinner, right? She's had a rough day with the kids. She makes the dinner, and she won't sit there and say, hey, I've had a rough day. Listen to this. Husband comes home from work. He's had a rough day at work. He's not trying to talk right now, right? So that's the conflict. She's stressed, and she wants to talk about it. He's stressed, and he wants silence. That's what I'm talking about, where the men will kind of pull back, and the women will kind of have to release, right? And so, and they do those pros and cons to both, but so the man comes home, sits at the table. Oh, honey, and she's 1,000 miles an hour, right? She's expressing herself, but to him it sounds like nagging, just straight up just nagging. He just got home, he just walked in the door, stepped on a Lego, not having a good day, right? Kids are food fighting, they're not trying to eat. She's trying to complain about anything and everything that went wrong that day.
Yeah.
He just wants quiet. He just wants everyone to shut up and go away.
Yeah. The women just talked about that yesterday. How that pisses them off. They just talked about that. You got to give affirmation that you understood what they're talking about, man. We can't just ignore them.
But there's such an easy fix to that. There's such an easy fix to that situation. Right.
You can't. They'll know that you're ignoring them.
So when me and my ex were cohabitating, right?
Yeah.
We just had a set up rule. It was like, look, I'm not going to talk about anything stressful for the first 30 minutes outside of work. That was it. It was that simple. Because she would typically, we had one car between us. So she would borrow the car, she'd go hang out, do whatever. So she would pick me up from work when I would get off.
Yeah.
And if I got in the car and I didn't talk the entire ride home, well, guess what? It's a 30-minute ride. So as soon as I get home, I better feel like talking. So, it was just that. It was like, look, like, whether she had a good day or a bad day, I just basically was like, look, I know this sounds bad, but play tennis with me. If I get in the car and I'm chipper, we can talk. If I get in the car and I'm quiet, 30 minutes.
Yeah. That makes sense. I mean, we typically like to hold things in anyway, so that's kind of normally what we do as far as men. And
we'll circle back to hold on that point, because I do want to talk about the holding things in later.
Okay. All right. Okay. Same question. If you caught on to that one, Andre, if you heard that one, you want me to say the question again, or do you kind of understand?
Yeah, I understand. I agree with Red Pill. I'll just add on that I've always, I haven't always known, but I learned a long time ago that men and women have two different filters when it comes to decision making, when it comes to pretty much everything. Men's is a logic filter. Everything goes through that first situation. They assess the situation. That's why they withdraw within themselves. They try to figure out the solution to the problem. And, they don't want to stress or be emotional, because that won't help them think. Won't help them think through the problem and solve it. And that's why when a woman comes to her man with a problem, his initial step is to solve it, because that's who we are. We're problem solvers. We want to make sure it's solved, solution's good, everybody's happy, and we can move on with our lives. But women want to express themselves because their filter is emotion. So they go through all of the emotions of how they're feeling about whatever happened, situation, decision, and so forth. And when they come to us, they want to express themselves. They want to express how they feel about whatever happened. Becky stole my soda at work or some shit.
Becky.
Or whatever. And yeah, right. And when they come to us, right off the bat, we want to help them, right? We love them, we care about them and shit. So we go right into it, like, okay, well, I would do this and do this. How about you do this? And they get a little bit upset. because they don't want us to fix the issue. They just want us to listen. But
That's
at the same time, they don't tell us that they just want us to listen when they get home. You know, they just throw it all out there. They just, unleash all of it once they
do.
get home.
Yeah.
I lived with a woman for over 2 years, and it was the same shit.
That's why I just pretend to listen, and then I'm not paying
When she
attention.
gets home, everything releases. Even if she had a bad day, she wouldn't cry until she got in that house. And then, my first instinct was to try to help her, try to solve it, and it rub her the wrong way. So I learned to just let them express themselves, let them go through the emotions they need to go through, and then when they finally get all the emotions out, then they start to look at things logically and look for a solution. And that's when you can kind of come in as a man. But I think it's always going to be that two difference because, we're men and they're women. So we're logical and emotional. It's always going to be different.
Well, I mean, yeah, it kind of is, like you said, a double-edged sword because, they want us to listen and then they also want us to sometimes fix it sometimes. So we don't know how to, to differentiate what they want. So, I mean, if they want us to just listen, it's like, first you want to ask, do you want me to fix this or you want me just to listen? Because I need a straightforward answer because I'm going to try to fix things. I was just telling ladies yesterday, I was like, honestly, man, I'll sometimes go in the line and I'll see a guy with like chocolates and flowers. And I'm like, oh yeah, he fucked up. He messed up for sure. You know what I mean? Like, because you look at it, you're like, oh, this dude. And I'll ask him what happened, man. He just kind of looks, he knows like that was him fixing it because he knows he messed up on something, right? And then, oh, that's fine. I'm like, well, I mean, we do that naturally. So, we don't know what it is. We just go, okay, she's mad at me. So, I mean, it's us in a way fixing things and, doing things to keep them happy. The whole term people say happy wife, happy home, right? So, it's more of the ego that we kind of push back on ourselves and we go like, all right, okay. This is not because you can't win out that battle. If you guys are both, like you said, like,
Why not?
What's up?
Why not?
Why not?
That battle. Why not?
I mean, if you want to go back and forth with the women all day, like you can do that all day. I just don't have the time and energy to be going through that back and forth. If she's gonna be immature, I can't be immature with her and get at her level. I mean, you can talk to her like a child if you want to, but like I'm just personally. You know what I mean? Like, it's just.
So what do? You get the chocolates and teddy bear and say, I'm sorry.
Like, here, just get
Just
get her
like,
something
here.
she likes. Just get her to shut up. No, I'm just kidding. But no, I mean, like, it's in a way, it's just.
But what precedent does that set, though? Like, what habit are you reinforcing there when people do that?
I mean, that's that.
Like,
I mean,
I think it's a bad move. You have to be like, you have to really be in the wrong, not just hurting her feelings in the debate or making her upset in the debate or the argument, but you have to be the one that has done the shitty thing to force you to buy something to make up for that.
Well, yeah.
But if you guys had an argument and you made her feel bad or made her
that's
feel
different.
Shitty, shit, you can get over it. She's a grown woman.
Yeah.
You don't have to go buy her roses and chocolates.
Not every day.
She'll get used to that. Take advantage of it. Yeah, so it's like.
Exactly.
I always feel like if you always get your girl like chocolates or flowers or teddy bears every time you mess up, every time you get her teddy bears, chocolates, and flowers, you're just going to remind her of all the times you messed up. Right? Like, it's always going to be this weird power dynamic of like, I'm sorry, I'm here to appease you. Please forgive me for this thing that I don't know that I did. Like, I could never do that.
Well, not every. I mean, I wouldn't say get it every time because there's certain times you kind of have to like say, "Hey, you're wrong for this one," and they're like, "Oh, okay." Like, you know what I mean? It may be stubborn. It might have to push back, but that's usually what I see too in that way. I'm not saying all the time. No, I wouldn't say do it all the time. Don't be a fool and do it every time. There's people do it all the time.
This is gonna sound fucked up, but when I had a girlfriend, I never bought anything. I just sorry guys.
Like ever, or when you messed up?
When I messed up, I never bought anything.
Oh.
That's good, yeah. I mean,
yeah.
You don't have to. It's no different than like when you have a bad child and you just buy them something to keep them quiet. They're not gonna learn anything. They're not
gonna learn anything, right? You spoil her. Hey, some people do that though, man.
They do, yeah.
Some people
do,
man.
For no reason. It's like, why would I have to buy you something if I messed up but we're both adults. So
Yeah.
it makes
Right.
sense for me to give you something if you know, we're both adults, you know. But like, let's say if I guess like it would have to be like a major fuck up, but then you know, I still wouldn't do it. But that's just my opinion, you know, because we're
Right.
both consenting adults, and we have to understand like, hey, why do I need to give you something like a little kid for no damn reason? You know, I don't know, my opinion.
Yeah, because sometimes that logic won't work all the time. Someone just said, so Kylie's on here. She said, yeah, it's a Band-Aid. It won't fix your issues. Another one said, if it's a situation where logic isn't the answer to the issue, battering it with logic won't fix it. Someone said, yep, as adults should be able to talk about it. So, okay, Swish, same question.
What was the question?
God damn it. This is why you. God damn it. You know,
Well,
all
you know
right.
what? I can't add more to the subject, anyways. Like, you know, they answered it perfectly.
Okay. All right. I mean,
It's
so
not-
what are.
There's nothing more I can answer to it, anyways.
All right. So you want to skip that one? Because you're still on the hot
There's
seat.
one thing I want to add, though.
How am I in the hot seat?
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. No, you're not.
There's one thing I want to add, though, which so someone said, you know, putting the Band-Aid, getting the stuff to put a Band-Aid on, it's not really fixing the problem or fixing the issue. Problem number 2 with communication with women, like the whole disconnect, is the problem that they're showing you they're upset about isn't the problem they're actually upset about.
It really isn't.
They're you know what I mean? Like, they're not really upset that, or whatever they're telling you about in the moment, they're not really upset about that. It's usually something much bigger. And you have to peel this really ugly, gross argument onion to like get to the center. That bugs me. That grinds my gears.
Yeah, or when they say nothing's wrong, but you can clearly tell something's wrong.
I was just telling them yesterday.
Everything in their body, their behavior, everything is
It's like, we
different.
don't know.
And it's
Tell
like
us.
you have to ask them. Like I learned to stop asking them after the second time. Are you okay? Everything okay? And I'm fine. Everything all right? You good? Everything?
Like,
Everything
Kay.
okay? I'm fine. I'm cool. You know, it's like, all right, fuck it. You know, I'm gonna leave it alone.
And then it comes back to you say, he doesn't look like he doesn't give a shit. I'm like, well, I asked.
It is fucking annoying when you do that. It is so fucking annoying when you do that. It bothers me. Oh my god, it's so fucking annoying. But
well, I mean, we can all agree as men that women are more afraid of confrontation than anything, and they will lie.
yeah,
I don't know. Sometimes they
I
want
don't
to
know,
go
man.
front.
They will lie.
Sometimes they want to go front, man.
Bro.
especially in public when you're like, you know, they out of nowhere that anger comes out of nowhere and you're in public and they fucking start screaming at you. It's like, what the fuck, dude? Can we just do this at home or something? You know, that is fucking.
Well, I'm just saying, if they're in the wrong, I'm sorry, if they're in the wrong, they will curb that shit. Just for confrontation. They'll lie or say whatever they need to say just so they won't get you upset if they're in the wrong. And that shit to me is just childish. Just come clean, man. You know, just because it's gonna get worse if you drag it on. It's gonna get worse, and you know, it's just like be an adult and just come clean.
As far as the whole like the I'm fine, no, nothing's wrong, I'm okay. Alpha Monk hit it right on the nose with the ask twice, and if they deny it twice, don't. But what I'm gonna add to that is create an incredibly low pressure environment, right? Like what happens to water when it's incredibly low pressure, right? It just evaporates. It just releases. Everything just releases. So if you're talking to your lady and you're like, you ain't said nothing in about 20 minutes, that's unusual for you, because all you do is talk, like what's wrong? Nothing. I can tell you're upset, what's wrong? Nothing. Okay, look, I don't believe you. I'm gonna do this thing that I'm about to go do right now. Feel free to come talk to me whenever you want to talk about this. I'm ready to listen. And then just walk away. Just walk away. At that point, you've asked her twice, and you basically told her there's absolutely no pressure. So if you feel like telling me, you can. And if you realize you're being silly about it, you don't have to say anything. I'm gonna let it go.
Yeah.
Nice one.
But yeah, it's like once they get over their emotional filter, then they'll come talk to you, like you said. And once logic kicks in, then they're like, all right, well, let me go talk to him.
Well, the lady said it was a verse, man, because they said like dudes do that shit. And then they say, "Oh, I was with him."
But
I know a couple of dudes that do that. I actually know a lot of dudes that do that.
Yeah, because the girl said the reverse.
The majority of people that I hang out do that. They keep their feelings bottled inside. It's fucking stupid, but whatever. Yeah.
So Ann Shirley said, "Wait on the ladies episode." Kylie said the same thing. Prying is annoying. Yeah, someone said prying. I guess prying is kind of get annoying if a girl keeps asking over and over again, "Are you sure? Are you sure?" Because naturally, women are gonna be like, they care that much. They're very caring, so they'll keep asking. You're just like, God, fine. But like it's a verse, right? So, I mean, yeah. I mean, I don't know. I guess it depends on the person, man. At that point, I don't think it really depends on your gender, but okay.
I mean, I like communicating, so I mean, it's like, because that's one thing is I don't like to go to bed upset. I don't like to go to bed stressed out or anxious about anything with my lady. So I like to talk that shit out as much as possible so we can get that shit over with. Sometimes I've experienced with women that they just can't let go of some things, and they'll say they're fine after you talked it out. After a couple hours, you're sitting there talking, she's cried or whatever.
Yeah.
And say they're fine, and they'll kind of get back to normal, but something's still off. And then you find out like a few days later they're still upset over it or some shit, or like Red Pill said, it'd be something totally different and a lot deeper than what it was. And you're like, what the fuck? Why didn't you just say that then? And it's like, no,
I was like, remember that thing 2 months ago? Oh shit, man. All right.
Yeah.
exactly.
So, I didn't know. I didn't know this is what caused you to break up after all that you hold in for such a long time. Okay, second question. How does that create? I'll start rotate it back to you, Red Pill. So, how does that create misunderstandings and miscommunication? How can folks improve?
All right, I'll try to keep the answer super simple because I think it's really simple. The big disconnect here is when the man's quiet, she thinks she doesn't care or he doesn't trust her. And when the woman's talking too much and she's prying too much, the man thinks she's nagging and annoying. That's the problem. That's the big problem. He's annoyed because you're literally like a mosquito in his ear, and then she's upset because you're sitting there like a brick. That's it. That's it. How can that be improved? Every single relationship has to find their own way.
Yeah.
All of them have to find their own way. Personally, I don't ever believe in compromising ever. I don't believe in compromising. I believe if two people with level heads can talk about it, there's always a win-win. Neither has to give up a single inch. I firmly believe that in almost 95% of situations. So the biggest one would be a man telling her, you know what, I am ready to talk about this problem at this time. And he has to know himself well enough to know how long it can take for him to distill this, right? And then for the woman who wants to talk, she has to be willing to distill her own emotional stress, talk about the actual problem. And that's
right.
It. It's not easy, but it's that simple, right? The man has, because it's not so much about availability as it is accountability. She wants to know you will talk about it. If you tell her, wait a day, she'll most likely wait a day, right? But she wants to know, will you talk about it? Not when are you going to, will you? And if you tell her, I will, and this is when you can expect it, she'll relax. And I forgot what it's called. I think there's a psychological law that has to do with really, really high-level emotions. It's impossible to maintain them for a long time. It is impossible to be extremely furious for a long time. It's impossible to be extremely happy for a long time. So, like, Alpha Monk is like, oh, I don't like to go to bed mad. I don't mind going to bed mad. You ever wake up mad? No. You wake up, you're like, oh, yeah, I was being stupid yesterday. We can talk about this now. It's like, I think sleeping it off is one of the best things, and
Someone asked a question.
Yeah.
Someone asked a question, said, what's your definition of compromising?
Ooh, hard one.
My definition of compromising is you're both giving up a little bit just to appease the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's compromise. So you guys are both like, okay, well, this is what I really want. This is what you really want. And we're both going to kind of give it up to meet here. And neither of us are going to be fulfilled. Or it's going to be, you're fulfilled, I'm giving it up. You're fulfilled, I'm giving it up. I think in 95% of situations, there is a win-win where neither party feels like they gave up anything.
I mean, well, that's.
I have a question. For
Yeah.
that. So Marco, Red Pill. So you're telling me like if there's a red flag, is that compromising? Like, is it compromising in, oh, fuck, I put this into words. So if you're compromising, right, and and you see a red flag, and you ignore it, is that compromising?
No,
Or,
I mean, kind of in a way. I need you to explain that a little bit better for me.
like, for example, shoot, I can't think of anything right now as an example. But let's say the girl that you like, for example, right? You don't like to drink. Let's just say you don't like to drink, right?
Right.
So the girl that you like, she loves to drink, and then
Okay.
would you compromise and all right, I really like this chick, so would that be like a compromising situation where you're like, oh, okay, I'll
Well,
go.
I guess let me
Yeah.
respond to that. Right. So if she likes to drink, and I don't like to drink,
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Never happened to me, by the way. But let's say she likes to drink, and I don't like to drink, right?
Yeah.
And she wants to hang out.
Mhm.
Do I have to get drunk? No. Do I have to drink any alcohol? No. We can go to a nice restaurant, right, that we both like. She can order whatever drink she wants. I can get ginger ale or water or a Sprite. No one compromised. That was a win-win.
Okay, so that's
And
what
if she
that's what
says
I do.
you have to drink alcohol, and I'm like, I don't want to drink alcohol, and she's like, well, you have to. That's someone I shouldn't be with.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Actually answered my question.
So I got 2 comments here. Someone on the Facebook said, both people need to mature in communicating. I definitely had to learn this in my relationships. And what I noticed in other relationships is the lack of maturity. And then I think someone else said something about if you both can find something the other wants that you didn't know before, that could change your mind. Communication error happens. And Shirley said, how do you get that middle ground where no one is losing? Because in communication, I feel like we're taught to compromise. So that's what Ann Shirley said.
So I'll respond to Ann Shirley, and then I'll have you one of the guys respond to the Facebook one.
Okay.
So it's hard. It is very, very hard. The way you find that middle ground is you have to know what the other person wants. That's the most important thing. You have to know what they want, and you have to know what's important to them. And those are the things you typically find out in the first couple months of dating, right? What are your value drivers? What drives you? The best example is husband wants to go watch a movie and then go to the bar. The wife wants to have a stay-at-home dinner, right? How do you find that win-win? Ask him, why do you want to go to the movies, right? Why do you want to go to the movies, and why do you want to go to the bar? And he's like, I want to do this thing because it's something that we used to do when we were kids, right? Before we had kids and before the mortgage and the jobs and stuff, we used to always go to the movies and get drunk at the bar. That was our kind of thing. And then he's like, why do you want to have dinner at home? And she goes, because I feel like we never have enough family time. Okay, so he wants something nostalgic, and she wants family time. If they can solve both of those, no one has to give up anything. Because for him, it wasn't about the movies and it wasn't about the bar. It was about nostalgia. And for her, it wasn't about actually being at home. It was about family time. So once you know those main value drivers and what that person actually wants, it's very, very easy, right? He can go, oh, well, then we should go to the theme park in the morning because we did that too. And the whole family can do it. Solved. They solved. And no one gave up anything at all.
Yeah, I think there's a solution to every problem. There's not a problem out there that nobody has tackled and had a solution to. So I think it's kind of up to the person and their ego and how much they really want it and how much they don't want the other person not to want whatever their desire. And I think that's when it comes down to it. You know, it's just on the person of how selfish they are, if they're selfless or not. And, you know, you don't always have to compromise at all. One person can do one thing at one point and another person can do it at the other, just like he was talking about. So it's a solution to every problem. You just have to have the patience and the drive to want to find it. And that all comes down to the relationship.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
So that comment on Facebook, who's going to respond to that one? Did you guys want to respond to that
What was
one?
it again?
So both people
Say
need
it one
to,
more time.
well, I mean, she was just commenting. She said both people need to, Tiana, she said both people need to mature and communicating. I definitely had to learn this in my relationships. And what I noticed in other relationships is the lack of maturity.
Well, I've noticed that there's always going to be one person that's going to be a little bit more immature than the other. That's just with with any relationship, man. It's just gonna be like that. Just like one person's gonna have an upper hand in the relationship than the other. It's very rare that it's equal. But when you do have an equal relationship or a balanced relationship, that shit goes the distance. And those are the ones that last, years. So it's like that's the whole thing to strive for is to find. But I think women know within a very short amount of time if the guy is mature or not. I mean, there are some good gamers out there that can have the gift of gab, and they can pull out that
Player card.
that fake lifestyle for a while, man, and they can
Yeah.
fool you for a good long time.
Yeah.
But you just got to be observant. I just think it's like an immature man will show it pretty easily. Especially if he drinks, you can see it when he starts to drink and shit. So it's not that difficult.
Someone said yes. Control.
Unless she's going for fuck boys, that's on her.
Someone said yes.
I
Control.
guess what he's trying to say is that it really depends.
Yeah.
It really depends on the person, right?
Mm.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if you're male or female or what age. It all depends on the person, and then you have to be very observant on that. Because I've had some of those where a person's not very mature, so you have to find the best way to solve your problem.
True.
I agree. So someone else commented
Next
after a while.
question.
Yeah.
Dante froze?
Yeah, I got you. No, I froze. Did I freeze?
Ooh, did Dante freeze?
Did I?
Froze.
I froze a little bit. Did I? I got rough internet
Yeah,
here.
you did.
Yeah.
I did that? Okay. I froze. Well, I'm still here. It's all good.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Audio's working.
Huh?
The audio.
Is the audio working? What's up? Is it working?
Now you're breaking up.
Am I?
Yeah. Oh.
Am I?
Audio is not really working.
Shit.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
Am I good? Am I good?
Try reading the question.
All right. So the question is, if you guys can hear
Can
me.
you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
You guys
Yeah.
good?
Read the question.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
did you all guys all ask a question? Because I only asked one person. If you guys want to answer it, if you can, if it's the
Question
same
number
thing.
3.
Question number 3. No, it was question number 2. It was 2.
That's creepy.
Yeah. Terrible.
Is it? It's damn internet.
You're breaking up. Brother.
Is it? Am I still?
No, we're on 3 now.
Oh, I thought we were on 2.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
is pretty horrible.
I thought we were on 2. Okay. Well, that's weird. All right. Yeah, I'm hella distorted. Man.
No, you're back.
You're good.
All right.
Distorted. Okay. All right. It was question number 2, though.
You already asked number 2.
But I asked one person. You guys all answered it together? Yeah. Okay. All right. So number 3, have you ever had an experience when one gender is communicating one way and you were communicating the other way?
Yeah.
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 Every single time.
Yep.
Every single time.
Every single time. Also, yeah.
That's just the nature of dating the opposite sex.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can give you an example though. Here's an interesting example. So I was dating this girl and I've always considered myself a great communicator, right? But at the time, what I thought was I was a great communicator, but what really was I was just a good talker. It was different, right? Like I was good at talking, I was good at filling up space, but I think maturity and communication in a sense of relationships is more so how do you operate under duress? Like how do you operate in a stressful situation? That is exactly what maturity is how do you operate under stress, right? A child under stress breaks down and cries. A teenager under stress kind of stonewalls a little bit, gets very angsty, and kind of figures it out. Someone in their late 20s, they do it, they're happy about it. Someone in their mid 30s, late 40s understands this is life and just if they flow, let's keep doing it, right? So the person I was dating initially was much better at communication than I was. And it became very apparent after like first 2 or 3 arguments. We were both really strong personalities, butted heads a little bit. And I realized like I would just stonewall. I would get upset and just get real quiet. And then it was like, I would get mad because I kept losing all these arguments because I would get flustered and I would stop talking. And I'll stop trying to explain myself, right? Stop trying to express, right? And so I actually had to work through that to make it work. And I did. It was great, right? But it was very interesting because at that time was the first time in my life I was dating somebody who at the time I considered a better communicator than I was.
Mm.
So that was very interesting for me.
Yeah. Okay. What about you, Alpha Monk? What you got?
I mean, it's the same as I was saying earlier. It's always going to be somewhat different. I think one of my biggest issues is when after I've had an argument or I've gotten in a fight with my girl or a girl that I'm with, I forgive faster than I do forget, you know. And then it's like I want to get the shit over with because it's already happened. We've already talked about it. So I want to forgive and I want to move on faster. But then I always find out a few days after that, you know, the mind just starts to replay everything again. You know, I find different things and I get irritated again. And then I withdraw and I kind of like get really cold and this cold shoulder. And I have to get through that until I can, you know, communicate. But
Yeah.
I've noticed that with myself every time after a fight or an argument, I try to do that. And I've learned to kind of like squash that and just, you know, let things lay where they lie until everything is figured out.
Yeah.
But every relationship I've ever had, the girl has always been more emotional than I am. I try to fix things. I try to, you know, logically find a solution, and it just always butts heads.
The let go is the toughest part someone commented.
Was it?
Yeah.
Letting go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I have a bad memory, so I forget really fast. Yeah.
Stupid. This guy. Well, I mean,
It's like I don't give a fuck. Fuck.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like-
yeah. So since you can answer the question too. What you can go ahead, Swish.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, earthquake over there, man. What's going on?
I move on. I'm sorry. I haven't-
Earthquake, man.
So yeah, well, there's nothing really that I can add. The only thing I can add to Alpha Monk's thing is that I forgive and forget, and I just move on because I think it doesn't. There's no sense for me to keep going with like or being angry because it's pointless, you know.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like talking to a wall, you know, and it's like,
Yeah.
oh, well, if you're not gonna move on, then I can't do anything about it, you know.
But I want to add to that. I heard a quote today, and I normally don't trust or pay attention to any quote that I see on Instagram. I think most quotes on Instagram are stupid, but this one was like fantastic and very relevant.
Yeah.
The question it was told like a short parable, little story. The question goes, you know, some yogic, you know, spiritual master was talking to this newbie and was like,
Right.
"Can you see your reflection in this water?" And the newbie looks over at this bowl of water and goes, "Yeah." And then the master dips a finger and the ripples go, and he goes, "Can you see it?" And the newbie's like, "Oh, I can see it a little bit." He takes the bowl and starts just shaking it like hard as hell. And he goes, "Can you see your reflection?" And he goes, "No." And he goes, "So do you think you can think when you're really upset?" Right? That was the analogy he gave. So that's why I think it's really important to understand that when you're at that really emotional extreme and you can't function, that's just a physical response to
Yeah.
stress. That's it, right? Your cortisol levels in your blood are spiking. You're getting like hypertension. You're physically heating up, right? Your adrenaline's pumping. Like you
Body
just aren't in a
shaking.
position to think. That is not a thinking position to be in. So it's like, why force the issue when you're both yelling or name calling or getting upset? You can't force the issue at that point. You have to put it on pause. You gotta table that.
Yeah.
You know, relax. and
That's
then
how
talk.
resentment's built, right? That's like how resentment's built. Like fucking.
Yeah.
You just.
But I think resentment is really built over not getting closure for situations.
Oh really? Oh,
So when
okay.
a partner does something and you don't get closure for their infraction, right? Over and over and over. And I think that's how resentment builds. So if partner always comes home and ignores you to play video games, and you never get to address that issue, or when you do, it gets brushed under the rug, resentment. So I think resentment comes from not getting closure repeatedly.
Okay.
Sounds like every relationship I've had. Resentment.
Damn.
Right.
So I got a comment on here. Someone said a comment on Facebook. She said, if I overact or act of emotion, my partner will identify that and let me know. I need to reevaluate how I'm communicating with both, need to be on the same level of communications and come to sort of understanding. Girls are more emotional and guys are more logic. Us women don't like when the guy isn't reacting in the same nature, but women need to learn that guys are not going to be emotional. Yeah. It's a woman that said that. It's Tiana. So yeah. I mean, that makes sense. Yeah, I agree.
I mean, yeah. How can you be in the same emotional state that she's in if she's highly upset and, because you didn't go through the same thing she went through. And I think it wouldn't be, I don't think she really wants that either. I don't think a woman wants her man to be just as emotional as she does, because then she won't have a rock when she's, in chaos mode. So it doesn't make any sense. See, that's another example right there. They say one thing, what they want, but they don't really want that thing. Like if she was crying hysterically and she was so upset because something happened at work and she was freaking out, and she looks over and her boyfriend's doing the exact same thing, she's going to see that as a weakness.
Hey, but how quick is she going to calm down, though?
Yeah.
Right there. If she is like freaking out, it was the high stress situation, and I almost used the buzzword there. And the man takes
Watch yourself.
I think she would.
He takes that higher energy, right? The higher valence electron reaction, right? Like he's really freaking out. She's automatically just going to assume the masculine role in that situation. That's just it. That's how it works. Any two people, if someone picks one, the other person typically will just take the other role, right? So it's like, and if she's not used to it and that isn't her nature to be in the masculine more often, like she's going to be very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
It's a very uncomfortable situation to be in.
All right. So Amy said it's not just females though. Kylie says, but the man can show empathy. And Shirley says that part.
Right.
Well, empathy and doing the exact or portraying the exact same emotions is totally different.
Yeah,
we
they're saying
about
empathy,
earlier,
but what they really mean is compassion.
Yeah. A guy can sit there and she's crying. He's like, okay, baby, what's going on? What's happening? I'm sorry this happened. Let's talk about it. Go through the motions with me. Let me know what's happening. He'd be there as a rock for her. But yeah, if he's, freaking out just like she is.
Oh my God.
Yeah. It's not going to be good.
What's happening? She's going to be more scared. What?
Yeah, well, if he's freaking out, she's going to be like, oh shit.
Oh, this motherfucker's spitting. So Kylie said, we don't want you to be on the same emotional level as we are. We just want you to understand where we're coming from.
Right. I mean, I think because the last few podcast episodes, I got lit up for my views on men being sensitive, right? That was not a popular opinion. And I've been thinking about it. I've been reflecting. I've been having written dialectics, trying to figure out what that means. And I think in the end, sensitivity is just the wrong word. It's just compassion. Yeah. I think it's not so much you want me to actually be softer, or you want me to be more sensitive, you want me to be more, right? It's just, you just want me to understand that there are emotions happening right now, and I have to validate them.
Mm-hmm. I think what we need to understand is men and women express emotions totally different, right?
Yeah.
And I think a man can be, we'll just call it sensitive, for lack of a better word. A man can be sensitive as long as he's expressing it the right way. If he expresses it like a woman, he's going to be seen as a weakness, and it's not going to work out. But you can express how you feel about things without crying.
How do you express it like a man? How do you express it like a woman?
Well, I was getting to that. You can express it without crying and without overreacting or without panting or hyperventilating. You can just tell them, one of the great things about men and what we do is, like, when there's a group of guys, they will talk about their problems. They will talk about how they feel. They will talk about their emotions. And you do that the same way you do with your homies, you do it with your girls. You just have to be a little bit more softer in how you speak when you talk to her. It's just how you say it, not what you say. But I think men
Wait.
everywhere, they can show their and express their emotions. Just
You just
talk
said the
about it.
buzzword. You just said the buzzword, didn't you?
You did.
You
Did
did.
I? What I said? When?
Did you say feminine?
I didn't say fit.
He said
I didn't say that.
he
Okay.
said the G word.
The G word.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say it. I'm not gonna say
It was only one word, right? It was only,
Yeah, I thought we discussed.
That was not one word.
it. We said 3, right?
Nah, we were gonna go 3, man. That's exactly why we
Yeah,
didn't
do
go.
one.
This is sad. All right. Let's go.
Yeah. But no, that's pretty much it. Yeah, it's just, you know.
3. Nope. Yeah.
I
Okay.
think
Well, I mean, a lot of the women on here said. Amy said, "Yeah, just listen to us, damn it." Not all men get together and talk about their emotions. That's what Amy said. She's been on
How does she know?
podcasts
She a
before.
man?
if my
No, she's a woman. She's been on podcasts
Okay.
before.
no, I'm saying whatever man told her or whatever man led her to believe that men don't, he's lying.
Yeah, he just
He's
told her a
lying.
lie.
Now, men aren't going to sit there and tell a sob story in the same aspect that a woman would, but you
Exactly.
best believe your homie going to be like, hey, bro, so-and-so pissed me the F off, like this happened, like that's him talking about it.
Yeah.
So whatever man led her to believe that lie, he's just not sharing with you.
She said not
Like,
all men. She said not all.
Well, again, how does she really know that? You know?
Okay.
No, all men do, unless he has no friends.
Then he won't. Yeah.
Unless he has no friends and he's in solitary confinement the rest of his life.
Yeah.
All men will vent to their boys. Not in the same way a woman would vent to her girls.
It's different.
Like if my boy hits me up and he goes, hey man, rough week, can we go to the bar? That's all he needs to say. I know he's had a bad week and we're going to get drunk and we're not going to talk about it. But I know he's had a bad week and I'm going to be there for him.
Yeah.
That's it.
It's like with men, it's more about venting. We vent. We don't like cry or, you know,
Yeah.
get hysterical or anything like that, or hold each other. We just vent. Like, man, I'm just like, fuck this, and that.
So Amy says, no, they aren't lying. Different personalities. How do you know all men behave the same?
Well, one, I'm a man, and
I have a lot of guy
two,
friends.
I have more
In fact, I have majority guy friends. And I'm
I have more.
just telling you right now, there's no man out there who has never complained to one of his boys, ever.
Yeah. It just
Not
is.
one.
That's how it is. We feel safer when we're complaining
should
or
grab a
venting
beer.
our emotions with men than we do
Yeah.
women.
Yeah, we just
Because
grab
when
a
we
beer like.
criticize and they judge, so.
Like, man.
Yeah,
Well, all you-
but-
yeah.
Certain personalities express themselves. You can't speak for all men. Some
That's
women
funny
don't
because
talk
she was
about
just
their-
speaking for all men.
Yeah.
She was
Well,
just doing that.
Not necessarily
so,
she wasn't, but I'll let that one go. Because, you know, I'm not going to argue from a point of authority. That's always a weak argument, right? I can't be like,
Sure.
oh, I know because I'm a man. That's a weak argument. All I can say is, do you know anyone who has never complained in their life? Do you know anyone, regardless of gender, who's never said one thing that bothered them? Maybe they didn't spill their emotional viscera, but do you know anyone who's never done that? Then you can answer that question yourself, right? So, question number 4.
Question 4. We all answered number 3, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Question number 4. All right. You should put one on here. Did someone just put another question on here?
I did put one on there.
I was like, wait, there was 4. There was 4 on here earlier. Now it's
That's
5.
a great one.
Okay, all right. So how can people work on communication between genders?
Ooh, I think a lot of that has to do with personal responsibility.
Yeah.
Kylie said, see, the men aren't listening. So men don't listen.
That's true. Hey, that's true.
Well, if I explained any further, I would get called out for mansplaining, so I'm just gonna let it go. So I'm just gonna let it go.
Dangerous topic.
See, they want us to explain something. We explain it, and then we're
So Amy-
mansplaining.
Amy said, I challenge one thing and they don't like it? Question mark.
What did she challenge?
Yeah.
She said,
No, she's literally saying that there are men out there who will never, ever, 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 ever say there's anything wrong with them. That's literally what you're saying, and that's just impossible.
Yeah.
Unless he is
You know what?
mute, dumb, and
I
deaf.
know some. I know
That's
some people that think that way. Oh, I'm not doing anything wrong. You know, blame it on someone else. Oh, it was her fault. You know, it was his fault. You know.
So all I'm saying is every man who has at least one guy friend has complained about something to that guy friend.
Oh yeah.
How do I know? Because everyone has done that. Everyone.
yeah.
Yeah.
Like even your most stoic friends, if they're not like
Hi,
open in front
Vince.
of you.
Mhm.
But that's a moot point.
My
All right.
boy who tagged in, he's in. He tapped in. He knows I've been out sometimes, so I get that. All right. So question number 4 then. So how can people work on communication between genders?
Mm.
Good luck with that. It
Just
really
all
depends.
praying that hopefully we.
Responsibility thing.
It really depends on the person. It really depends on the person. Like,
Yeah,
if they
it's
want to work
personal
on it,
integrity, man.
yeah. If they really
It's
want to work
personal
on it,
integrity.
yeah.
So in a
sorry.
perfect world, a man will look at himself and say, okay, I have to talk. Right? In a perfect world, a man's going to look at himself and say, she is upset and she wants me to talk. So I need to find out a way to convey to her that I need either X amount of time before I can talk, or I have to figure it out with myself how to talk. In this same perfect world, a woman's going to look at herself and say, I'm allowed to talk about how I feel, but I need to have more direct communication. Just be more direct, right? So it needs to be more direct. Right? Sorry, I had to guess for a second.
I was like, what happened?
What happened?
we had a break transmission. It's a lag. What happened? You just stopped right there. So yeah. So I'm getting some interesting comments on here. Because they said they're only reading what I'm telling you guys on the comments because you guys can't see the comments.
Right.
I can see them.
Okay, yeah. So Swish sees it too. So I mean, if you guys want to add
So
to
what
it,
do you think about that? The personal responsibility. What do you think about that?
personal responsibility.
I think it works with that, and like I said, personal integrity, being honest with yourself. Also, I would say that in a relationship, it's very important to understand each other and know each other's body language and behaviors. It's because that way you will know how to talk to your partner. If you fully understand your partner and you're fully invested in them, then you're gonna try to figure out everything about this person. You want to know everything inside and out about this person because that's your partner. That's the one you're gonna go with. Hopefully you'll live with for the rest of your life. So I would say it's very important to figure each other out, understand each other. That way you know how to talk to that person because everybody is different. Everybody reacts different. Everybody takes things differently. Everybody sees things differently. So it's like you just have to figure out that person. Everybody's a puzzle. You just gotta make it happen. Like no relationship is ever going to be 100% smooth. It's never going to just go the way you want it to. People are different. Everybody's personality is different. Nobody knows what went on through your life. Nobody knows what you're thinking about. Nobody knows your past. They don't know your personality disorders. They don't know any of that shit. So it's like it's prudent to just figure all that out, and you should do that. Most people just get into a relationship and they go for 1 or 2 or 3 things. Once those things are appeased, then all hell starts to break loose and you start to have little arguments and fights here and there, and eventually you'll break up.
Do you feel that emotions plays a big part, a crucial part of communication? So you can have like we could be like robots to communicate, but once emotions come in a factor, does that change the whole dynamic of the communication?
If it's face to face, emotions help a lot face to face because then you can see the micro expressions, you can see their overall demeanor, you can see how it actually hurts them, what you're saying. They can hear the difference in tones, your vernacular, all of that stuff. But through text, it's like a robot. You can't read emotions off of text. You just can't. And so many people get upset and get frustrated because they're fighting an argument over fucking text, and it's like that's not smart because you need to hear their voice so you can hear the tone, hear the expression and the emotions.
Yeah,
and I think emotions are a catalyst for communication.
It could be. Okay.
Yeah, and just to add on to that, I think emotions make it much harder. Like it's easy for us to say, "Oh, just own it. Be responsible." But when you're, when you're really pissed off and you're both like had enough of each other and you're both 100% sure you're the one that's right, it is difficult. It's very difficult. So it's practice. It's a skill, right? Like being able to calm yourself down is a skill. Being able to communicate is a skill. One of the best things to do is to ask your partner, like, hey, what do you want me to do when you're upset?
Yep.
Like, straight up, ask him, like, when you're upset, what do you want me to do? And and a man will probably say, I just need you to give me space when I'm upset. I need you to understand I want to talk about it, okay? So she's gonna go, oh, okay. And then if he's a good man for you, he will say, he'll reciprocate, what do you want me to do when you're upset? And she's gonna say, well, I just want you to listen, right? So a man's gonna have to think about that and be like, all right, well, how do I take responsibility over she wants me to listen? And it's hard to listen. It's hard to code switch when I'm pissed. All right? And then she's gonna think about, well, I want to talk to him, but I'm not to code switch, hard to code switch when I'm pissed. And it's kind of that thing where you will have to find what works out best for you guys, right? Like if he's incredibly stoic, he might just be like, okay, I can listen immediately, but just don't expect me to respond right away, right? Where he's gonna just take all that in and he just goes, but you have to wait for my response. Or he might be like, well, look, I want to listen. I want to do this right. You have to give me 20 minutes. Or we have to be able to call timeout, or something. Like you guys have to make up your own rules here.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know if we have much time to go on to the next question. I mean, I might time out in like the next 5 minutes or so. How do men feel like they're heard during those times? That's what Aunt Shirley said. So she had a question. How do men feel like they're heard during those times? Hey, Aunt Shirley, just hold on to that question. I mean, you can. I mean, you guys can answer if you guys want, but I'm not sure if I'll time out during that time. You can make it quick and answer that. And we'll go on to the next one.
Heard, Heard?
Yeah. Heard.
We know we're heard because she kind of stops and thinks.
Yeah.
That's how we know. That's how anybody knows they're being listened to. The other person's not talking.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So the question number 5 that we have been trying to answer this whole night is, I'll post it up. What was that? Myths in communication?
And what are some myths of communication? Or some things people talk about in communication that just aren't true? Or people don't take seriously or really think about?
You want to start it off? Or you want to explain?
Yeah.
Okay.
So one thing, so I said this in the group chat, and the reason I put that question in is because I think it was a short personal story. I don't know how much you guys actually got out of it, but I think there's a really big lesson there of like, you don't always have to press the issue. Like people think, oh, if you're ever even for a second uncomfortable with your partner, you should say something. No, you're going to be uncomfortable 10 times a day, every single day, the rest of your life. Sometimes your partner's going to say something and they're going to have an attitude, and it's like, there is no point in talking about it. Whatever. Just seriously, like just whatever. Just let it go. You caught them in a bad moment. They were in a bad moment. If it's consistent, then you talk about it. But like you wake up and let's say they look on the wrong side of the bed, or they're upset about this, that, or the other. You say something, they're kind of quiet, not really responding. You don't sit there and go, oh, what's wrong? Just let them be. Just relax for a bit and be like, all right, they're not usually like this. They're typically emotionally mature. They're having a bad day. Everyone's allowed to have a bad day. And just let it go. I think oversharing is a huge problem in relationships.
Yeah, we are. We are a creature of habit, especially in that sense. Okay, so what would be a myth? An example of a myth?
That is the myth, that you have to share everything.
Okay.
You should always say when something is wrong. You should always
okay.
talk about your feelings. It's like you don't have to.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to gauge it a little bit because you added it in there.
Just what are some things you think people talk about in communication that's just not true?
That's a good one. I mean,
like, you can't honestly believe everything everyone says all the time. Or what's something that someone's like a generality?
I do all the time.
Especially if it's on the internet, right?
Everything's on the internet. It's true.
Have to be true.
What do you mean?
So
I don't know. I don't know how to answer that
isn't
one.
That a good thing? Like, what is like something that's commonly said, but it's not really right? Like the biggest one about, like, oh, you should always talk to your partner when something's wrong. It's like, no. It's because sometimes you're upset because you are the immature one. And you should sit there and think about it. Right? Like if you're upset, great, let's say jealousy, for example, right? Let's say you go out and your partner's wearing something really revealing. They're with you the entire night. They're giving you adequate attention, right? But you're uncomfortable and you're upset because you see other people are staring. Is that something you should go home and be like, hey, I don't like you dressing like that, right? Or is that something you should think about, like, okay, well, do I have an insecurity problem?
Mm-hmm.
That's the myth of oversharing. Sometimes it's your problem.
Yeah.
You were at fault and you were upset with yourself. You've taken out on this person. You should sit there and just think about it.
Okay.
So I feel like no one really thinks about that when they should be.
Okay.
You
Yeah, I
know,
can
or
definitely
you ever ever been on Reddit? They have this subreddit called "Am I the Asshole?" Right?
Reddit.
I love Reddit. I love Reddit. I go on it every day, right? But there's a subreddit called "Am I the Asshole?" People go there with their problems and they'll say, "Hey, I did this thing and people weren't happy about it. Am I the asshole?" And usually they want validation for the poor life decisions. But sometimes you should ask yourself, "Am I the asshole? Like, am I the bad person here?" Right? I think the myth is always trying to explain to your partner what they did wrong, but sometimes they didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
You did something and they acted perfectly rationally to what someone reacted to you doing that thing.
I don't know if this directly correlates with that, but I think it's hilarious, and I think it's a bold-faced lie when people say they're not the jealous type. Like, there's a line between being insecure and being, just anxious and worried about everything, other than disrespect, just blatant disrespect. But I think people should just be honest about that. Like, everybody has a form of jealousy, you know, and how you express it, it all depends on you and, whatever happened to you in the past and shit. But I think it'd be easier if people would just be honest about that. Like, because everybody asks that within the first few weeks when you start dating anyway. It's like, are you the jealous type? And everybody always says no. Or, they'll just give like some similar answer, like, no, I'm not the jealous type, unless they're doing this, doing that. And it's a lie, because everybody gets jealous at some point, because we are possessive type beings.
Right.
We just are. And so it's like,
I get
we
jealous.
get in a relationship and we
I get
fall in
jealous.
love with a girl. Yeah. She's in your mind, you're not going to say it to her, but in your mind, you're like, she's mine. And girls do the same thing. He's my dude. And so, like, you see another girl talking to your man, and she's putting her hair behind her ear, and she's smiling and shit, she's touching his arm, the girl's gonna get livid. And then if the guy goes there and is like, oh, are you jealous? She's gonna say, oh, no, I'm not jealous, I'm just, that was kind of rude. And it's like, if you tell him that, yeah, I'm jealous, I didn't like the way she did this and did that, it made me feel like this and did that, then maybe the next time that comes along, he'll think of that, and he won't do that. He won't allow that to happen, and he won't hurt his girl in that way, and vice versa. But a lot of people don't do that shit because they want to seem like they're tougher than what they really are, and they allow this shit to keep happening, and then, you get into those arguments, or those repetitive, perpetual arguments about jealousy and shit. It's like,
when is a good time to bring that up, though? And when you're first?
At the beginning. At the beginning, man, everything should be set. Your intentions, your agendas, everything should be set at the beginning of a relationship, so there won't be any surprises and there won't be any downfalls. She won't disrespect you in any way because you let her know at the beginning that she can only go this far in this subject, she can only do that, talk about that, vice versa. Because I've seen relationships where a guy will get with a girl and he won't tell her that he doesn't like a certain thing, and then by the 5th year, she does that thing, and like she'll be so over with that, and it makes everything worse. But if he would have told her at the beginning, look, I don't like that shit, it makes me feel like this, it makes me feel like that, don't do that shit, then she would have never done it. But people they're too afraid to tell them that, and it's like they don't want to give up that power, I guess, or whatever power that holds. But it's nothing wrong with being jealous, that's your girl, that's your man, just don't be insecure about it.
Yeah. I forgot what Aunt Shirley said. She said, oh, go ahead.
Just real quick, very early in the podcast, Alpha Monk said something about, like, because I said you have to take responsibility and you should always initiate that first step into good communication. And he said you should have integrity. And we didn't really talk about it at the time, but that was such a good point of, like, if you want to handle a situation effectively, you have to be honest with yourself and how you feel about it. Like, if you are jealous and you're pretending so strongly that you're not, and you're lying to yourself saying you're not, that problem will never get solved, right? Like, you'll never fix that. And I think it is a good thing in communication too. It's like, you got to be honest with yourself first. You have to know what upsets you first.
Yes.
If you're just upset and you don't know why, that's a really bad position to be in. But if you're upset and you're like, hey, man, I don't like the way that super alpha dude was talking to my girl, she laughed. He wasn't funny. I'm funny. He's not funny. Like, if you could tell yourself that and then be like, okay, I'm being a little overreacting a little bit. I don't like the attention he was giving her. What did she give me any signs that day at all, or in the past month or year, that she'd be disloyal? The answer is no. Then it's like, okay, well, that's your problem.
Yeah, it really is.
Right. And I think another lie too is you can't expect your girl to not get along with another girl. You just can't expect anyone you're dating to not get along with someone of the opposite gender who's attractive.
That's the insecurity part. That's the insecurity part. Like if you don't like her talking to guys, period, then there's something wrong with you. Like she can't go through life not talking to men. It's just impossible. So it's
Right.
like you have to be secure in that point. Like you're right. You're absolutely right, man. Especially when it comes to jealousy, you gotta be honest with yourself. Why is that bothering you? And it's like you'll start to find insecurities within yourself, and then you can fix those fucking insecurities, and you can communicate to a point where you won't seem weak, you won't seem too overly sensitive, and you can actually dive into the situation and fix that shit. And she'll hopefully stop whatever she was doing subconsciously or consciously to make you jealous, and or vice versa. But yeah.
Right.
Okay. So Kylie commented, we need to accept that jealousy is a part of being human. It's more about how you deal with it. And she also said it's better to communicate jealousy through an honest conversation. Otherwise, it would cause resentment and confrontation.
I totally agree.
I think a great way to go about it is
You agree?
be humorous. You like, you tell them straight up, like, man, that dude was talking to you, like, he had his eyes on you. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, you can be honest about it, kind of just joke about it. The message will be sent. Trust me, she's not gonna miss the message. And if she acts like she missed the message, that's a red flag.
So that's just my friend. We just friends.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that's true. I forgot what Ann Shirley asked. She asked a question earlier.
I mean, we got to be honest. At certain points in the relationship, in any relationship, your girl will try to make you jealous for some reason or not. They just do that. They do that shit. Sometimes they'll do it, again, subconsciously, or sometimes they'll do it just directly just to get under your skin for some other reason. Who knows what the reason may be. But they do it, you know, and it's like if you come out of that and you get upset and you show anger and you show that you're truly bothered by it, depending on the girl, she can use that against you at some point. And it's just like you got to be honest with yourself. You got to be secure in who you are. You know, like
yeah, you gotta keep improving, because that's what I did. When I had an ex-girlfriend, I was with her for 5 years. She would purposely make me jealous, and you know, and in turn, it kind of made me jealous, because I was not a very jealous person before that. So what I did, I add, like Red Pill was saying, I add humor to that, and you know, I try to find, you know, the humor side of it, and I try not to think of a negative. Like, let's say if she's thinking of if she's talking to another dude, it's like, it is what it is. I can't do anything about it, you know. And it's why am I gonna make it such a big deal when it's not? You know, that's why you gotta keep talking to yourself. You gotta tell yourself, hey, it's not a big deal, and it'll go away eventually. Well, if you train your mind to do it, it will go away. You know.
Okay.
You know, when it comes to shit like that, like I've seen, like they talk about it a lot. There's a lot of videos and shit about it, and it's like it's difficult because if you express yourself in the wrong way, you just make things worse. You know, you'll show too much of a weakness, and then you have to do a lot of backpedaling when you do that. And like a girl can lose. You know, we gotta be honest. Women lose interest in their boyfriends. It's like it fluctuates depending on their moods and, you know, cycles, all that shit. Like they can be less interested in you today than they were 2 days ago, and then tomorrow they'll just be all about you. You know, they fluctuate. So it's like it all depends on when you get into that moment. So like I've seen girls who try to make guys jealous just because the guys aren't giving them enough attention. And instead of doing that, why not just communicate, you're not giving me enough attention, and it makes me not feel like you value me or value my time or any of these things. And that's why I subconsciously search for it in other men instead of just not doing anything, get frustrated about it. You know, it's like communicate with that. And vice versa, the guys, you know, if you see your girl, you're walking up to her, you see her, and this, you know, this guy, the alpha male type dude, and he's talking to her, and she's making her laugh and shit like that. If you go up to her, you start getting all irate and upset, and you know, showing all your insecurities and shit like that, you're just gonna make shit worse. It's just, you know, like Red Pill said, make it a joke. He's like, oh, I see you talking to old dude, you know, so and so. That kind of, you know, irritate me a little bit or whatever. You know, it's just.
Right.
Me
I think
personally,
you touched on something. Oh, go ahead.
I'll just say me personally, and I think Red Pill knows I'm very naturally vindictive. So I subconsciously just do the same thing the girl does to me. So I believe psychologically, people don't learn unless they experience it, right? And that's what I've learned through relationships. If you do something to me, you won't really truly know how it feels until I do the same thing to you. And I've done that so much in my life that it's created a natural response to certain things. If somebody does something to me, I'll naturally do that same thing to them without even knowing it. That usually has worked out for me. And
I think I do the same exact thing, but I do it like 3 times worse, you know? I make it very obvious. I'm just a fucked up person. I'm sorry, guys.
I think for me, this is, I know whoever's listening to this live stream is not going to like this answer. I think when you show that you're incredibly bothered, right? And not that you can totally express you're upset. You can absolutely express that you're upset. You can express your displeasure with a certain situation. You can communicate, you know, being bothered. But if you like emotionally overreact, you demonstrate low value. In any situation. If you overtly show that you're hurt or you belly up or you're just too animated about how upset you are in any situation, you're demonstrating low value. Your girlfriend's not going to respect you. Even if she's 100%, it's 100% her fault. She did something purposely, maliciously to hurt you, and you sit there and then you get, like, you're valid. You get upset and you like say some stuff, you yell, say some names, maybe you shed a couple like angry tears, whatever. You just demonstrated low value. Honestly, one thing when I feel like my woman has done something to maliciously bother me because she is upset, I react with stoicism.
Well, you know what? I kind of disagree because, you know, there's nothing wrong with showing emotion, you know? It really isn't. Like, if you own it and you just don't give a fuck, like, if I own the moment, you know, I think this comes from a dancing background, is like, you fall and then you own that moment and you make it look clean, then you can transition to whatever, you know? And it doesn't even matter. If you own the moment, I think that's the best analogy. If you cry in front of your girl and let's say you fuck up, let's say you're vulnerable at the moment, right? Then and you clean it up by owning it. I think there's nothing wrong with crying or showing your emotions, you know, because like, yeah, I've done it. You know,
I agree with both of you.
Yeah.
Because it could work that way too. If you own it, it depends on the guy, obviously. But if you can own it and go through with that, then I think you can salvage that that perspective of weakness that she may see. But Red Pill is right. Women will naturally see you a bit weaker if they see you crying stuff. Even if they're in love with you, they'll still see some form of weakness in there. Right. And it's like it's just the society that we grew up in. It's how it is.
So there's this guy, I can't remember his name, it's an Australian guy. I think it's something Marshall. He's like a dating coach, also kind of like a pickup coach, right, for men entering the dating scene. And he was telling this story how he was dating this super hot, like Eastern European model, right? And so they're in this bar, and right next to them is like this super James Bond type guy. Guy's incredibly wealthy, right? Nice suit and everything. And so he leans in to go kiss his model girlfriend, and she kind of just turns her cheek a little bit, right? And he knows immediately, like, we kiss all the time, we're sleeping together all the time, we're semi-cohabitating. Like, why would you just deny me a kiss on the cheek on the spot, right? And then so he's kind of like, okay, that's a little bit weird. And then he realizes that, oh, she's trying to make me jealous because this James Bond type guy is trying to talk to her, right? So she's kind of just wanting a reaction out of him. And so he leans into her and says, "You do that again, you're leaving this bar alone. What are we drinking tonight?" And that was it. He was very calm. He had a little smile. He's like, "You do that again, you're leaving the bar alone. What are we drinking tonight?" Right? And then he ordered the drinks, and they never talked about it. And she, and it wasn't a situation of him trying to force her to be affectionate, right? Like, he wasn't being abusive or controlling. It was, he saw the situation for what it was. She was trying to make him jealous.
Pointed it out. Yeah, he pointed it
Right?
out.
And so he owned it. And I think you have to love the person you're with, and you also really have to love yourself. If your partner is doing some like crazy shit, you gotta stand up for yourself.
Yeah.
And in that standing up for yourself is why you don't emotionally overreact. Because you're standing up for yourself. You're like, no, I'm not gonna sit here and scream and throw and cry and throw a fit. You're the one who's acting out of line here. I'm composed. I know what I want. And that's what she's gonna hear from you. If you go, look, you can talk to whoever you want, but what happened tonight at that party, I can tell I was out of line. I don't like it. That's all I'm gonna say about it. That's
Right.
owning it. That's
Yeah.
real ownership.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like the number one thing about life, period, I think, is you have to love yourself. It starts with you first. Everything starts with you first. How you view life, everything. So you do definitely have to love yourself. And man, I've told Red Pill this before many a times. It always comes down to this. To me, this is my own personal view, and I'll probably get hell for this. There's not a lot of good men out there. That good alpha men. There are not a lot of good real men out there anymore, right? So to me, women have shit for choices. So to
Right.
me, it's like if you have a good dude, and you have a good dude, and he may have a little something here and there that you may help him to tweak on, then you should put in that work instead of trying to find that 100%, because sweetheart, you are not 100% yourself. So it's like you should work in on that. And
Not
the thing
100,
is,
sweetheart.
a lot of them don't understand that shit. And what they don't understand is that the good men like us, I could throw a rock out my window right now and hit 12 women. They're every fucking where, and they're looking for good men. So it's like these women need to understand that relationships take two people. We can't read your fucking minds. We can't fix everything, and we don't know everything. And it's like it all comes down to that communication. Tell us how you're feeling. Tell us what you would like. Tell us what you desire. Tell us what you don't like, so on and so forth. Just keep going down that list until you finally figure each other out. But they need to understand, man, good men are becoming less and less. MGTOW is still big. It's still going. Good men are going their own way. They're tired of the bullshit. They're tired of fucking games. They're tired of you guys, women, going out for all these fuck boys and getting fucked over, getting wrecked, and then trying to find new men or trying to find good men.
Yeah.
We're tired of shit. We're tired of that shit, man. It's like,
I agree.
All right, man. So I'll ask one question that someone that Shirley asked, and then we'll probably wrap it up from here. So I think we're getting kind of almost over time, but I'll answer Aunt Shirley's question. She said, "How do you as men feel heard, in quotes, are validated, are understood by women in terms of communication?"
how do we feel heard?
Yeah, in
I
quotes.
feel heard when the problem gets solved.
Oh, I could answer that. The best way I think a man knows when a woman has heard him is when she shows it through action and not word. Because that's one thing men all across the board, we're irritated by it. You can say that shit until your face turns blue. Until we see it, we're not gonna believe it. You can tell me you love me, you can tell me this, you can tell me that, but if we don't see it, it's not real to us. That's how we know that you heard us, is if you show it that you heard us. If you care about us, show that you care. If you want things to be a certain way, meet me halfway. Don't expect me to do the whole thing. So it's like.
Okay. What about you?
I wanted to go back on the topic that Alpha Monk was talking about. I feel like a lot of people have too many standards nowadays because of everything we read online, especially guys. From the guys that I meet, they have all these crazy expectations. I was one of them, and I feel like you should bring down your standards if you can, because you're not going to find the perfect guy. You have to work.
A lot of guys' standards nowadays are unrealistic because of porn.
Yeah.
That does take a big issue in it. But not every girl is a 9 and 10 out there.
I see it in girls too. That they have high standards and they don't want to date any guy because the guy's not perfect. And it's like, dude, you're not perfect yourself, so you need to take it for what it is,
But I would even say too, just the antithesis of that, and I'll say it fast. 'Cause I know Dante wants to wrap up here. I think some people's standards are too low. Like
That's true.
Me and Alpha Monk had this conversation. Was it early February? Where I was like, I think my standards are too low right now. And I raised my standards on everything. Like I raised them up on everything. You know what's crazy? I've been able to find the girls I've been looking for.
Oh yeah.
I've been able to find girls who are working on their second degree. I've been able to find girls who are working on major medical engineering degrees. I've been able to find girls who have their own businesses. I've just been able across the board to find more alpha women because I started saying no to the girls who are like, nah, like you're a pretty face, cute butt, but you just don't got it. Like I need someone who's a bit more.
Never settle for less.
Too now where I'm like questioning like, well, shit, I got to bring more to the table too. So now I'm trying to work harder because I'm like, no, man, I raised my standards up. They were kind of low.
That's what we're talking about that one podcast. It's like men have to continue that standard of themselves. They just have to keep that high. Keep working on themselves, keeping themselves keep going because
y'all be going. Y'all be going for like 8s and 10s, though. I mean, that's cool and all, man. But
I'm glad you think the girls are going for 8s and 10s.
Y'all just go for the 8s and 10s, man. I don't know.
Hell yeah.
Y'all go for them supermodel girls. I'm not saying I ain't got no confidence. That's just to me. I just think they don't got no brains, man. To me, I was just like, man, you just.
Well,
I'm just saying, like,
they're used to getting their way and getting through things because they're beautiful. So they don't have to get smart. They don't have to learn.
They ain't got no degree or nothing. At least I want a girl that's smart. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I don't want no bonehead, man. Because then I feel like I'm in control. Because if she's an idiot, I'm just gonna like take full control of the whole situation. I'm just saying that's the kind of shit that I have to do. I'm like, man, I gotta talk to her like she's like a child, like she's an idiot. She ain't got nothing. You know what I mean? She got bird brain.
I haven't met that many 8s and 10s that are idiots. They all been pretty smart and pretty on it, man. So I don't know where you going.
I don't know, man. I judge too much.
Natalie Portman is real. Like you can find beautiful college-educated women. Like Natalie Portman
they're all over
real.
No.
They're out there.
They're more single than the pretty student.
I don't know. But like that's what I see I judge off. Yeah, but I judge out the physical. I shouldn't be doing that, but I do judge out the physical aspect. If I don't know them as a person, I don't know their college degree, that they got like 2 degrees, I'm gonna look at saying, oh yeah, she's just a pretty face. She probably ain't got no brains.
Well,
you know what I mean? Like that's why I did it. And now
I'm just looking for a beautiful woman though. So like that's what they have going for them is their beauty more so than anything else. And with men, it's what we have, our job, our materialistic possessions and our social status that we have to go for. So it's like,
I don't know. I can't be doing that.
You can teach her all kinds of shit. If she's a dumbass, just teach her.
Yeah, see, that's what I want to do. I'll be like her daddy. I'll be like her daddy. Helping her out with homework.
I'm just kidding.
Doing her homework and shit. I'm cool, man. I can't. I'm good off that.
Long division.
Yeah. It's like, oh, you don't know this shit? Oh, I learned this back in middle school. That's what I remembered. I'm like, oh man. When they like I was telling you guys before, a good scenario you can find out she's a bonehead. Like she's.
That's why recently I've been trying to teach myself how to cook because my biggest fear is like she get mad at me and I'm starving that night. Like you can go maybe mad, you're not gonna eat.
Yeah, it's like damn, never pissed her off.
Couple noodles.
It ain't the same, bro. I'm a big boy. I gotta eat, man. I need calories, dude. I'm a big man.
Big boy. gotta eat your Wheaties. Gotta get that protein.
My macros, man. I can't eat.
The macros. This man, we can talk about like beards and stuff. We bearded gay except for Swoosh, but it's whatever. We don't.
His whole face has changed, bro.
You know what I'm saying? He may not be able to hang with us with the crew with the bearded gang, man. But it's cool.
I never hang.
You know what I'm saying?
I make it popular.
Messing up our whole flow, man.
I told I'm not shaving all year.
Oh,
I'm gonna bang all year.
I get more attention with the beard than I do shaving. So it's like, yeah.
I'm just saying,
I don't want to say
Embarrassing.
something that's gonna make you guys
Come back next
Now, the
month.
state,
Don't
though, I
shave.
gotta work with that. It's not, we're
Come
not
back.
posting beard now.
Yeah,
Come back
it's
to
not-
us when
No shave November, right, guys? No shave November. It's not no shave November.
Hey, it's gonna be no shade November this whole couple months. What you mean?
I know,
Hey,
right?
bro, we're doing sober October. That's what we gotta know.
What you mean? We are this is
Not
no
really.
shave April right now. What you mean?
There's no
I gotta look good. I
No
gotta look
shave
good.
March, April, May, June, July. It's gonna be like that the whole time. Okay, well,
Oh, you know what?
appreciate.
But I work for a hospital. It's different. It's
Oh, yeah,
it's
you
different
get
for me
it.
to come fresh. Yeah.
And man, if you guys go out like for walks and shit, I've seen lately on the lake, like, there's so many girls on the lake right now, and they are so desperate
Oh yeah, they
right
ready.
now. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
They
I
ready.
went to the market the other day. And this girl just gave me a look like, you know, she just wanted.
Yeah, I met a girl the other day. Oh crap, Carly. The other day is a white girl, but we met each other with a mask on. We were like 6 feet, and I gave her a bump. And
Said
exchanged
Carly.
numbers, but that shit was like just
Oh,
fucking
shit.
crazy, man.
All right. Well, I don't have anything else to say. No one else has any comments and questions. But I'm gonna wrap this up, and I'm gonna open up the post episode for the women to join in.
Mm.
So, if you guys are ready, I'm gonna probably throw the ladies on here. They're gonna probably ask you guys some questions. But I'm gonna close this
Do it.
up right now. Just want to let you guys know. Thank you guys for coming on. Thank you guys for listening in. Appreciate you guys. And if you guys want the exclusive content, be a Patreon. You get the exclusive content of this post episode. So you guys get all the information. You get the whole bit of everything. Yeah. So, all right, guys, take it easy. Enjoy the rest of the time, and stay tuned for the next episode. All right. All right. Let me pause this. Oh, I didn't see you there. Hey, this is going on. This is Dante from the Y Day Podcast, the host, and hope you guys like our content on the last episode. And just letting you guys know that we are going to be posting everything on our website, www.ydaypodcast.com. And for all the information, you can go on here. I know if you guys already looked on the video, it's on YouTube. YouTube episodes are on here. Everything on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple, Google Play, all that is on there. Now, another thing we also are giving out for a lot of listeners who's been listening for a while, we actually have a Patreon. So a Patreon account, if you donate, it's a $5 tier of $5 a month. Well, we're going to be giving you some exclusive content, which is going to have 30 to 45 minute Q&A before the episode. So if we typically have a guest speakers on there. We have some love coaches on there, like we had in our last episode. We have a love coach, relationship gurus, motivational speakers. So you got the Q&A time within 30 to 45 minutes to talk to them before we do our episode. Or if you want to talk to any of us, some of the speakers on there, the co-hosts and things like that, we also open that up for anyone out there. Also, we're going to be having an exclusive giving out the prior episode. So we're going to have the episode and you're going to have the first leak of the episode before we even put it on to everybody else to see. So that's all we have. It's just $5. It's a very small number. I know most people are, got other investments, whereas Netflix, I'm not competing with Netflix or Disney Plus, but it's something that we're giving out for you guys here. If you want to tune in there, that's also on the website. I'll put the link right down here. So it's www.ydaypodcast.com. And now I'm going to get back to my work. So if you guys want to kindly just, scatter